Well, good evening. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and I'm broke down. I am broke down. Hardly got out of town of Houston. Got to Nacogdoches, which is about 2.5 hours north of Houston, and I had all kinds of bells and whistles going off. In my truck on the dashboard, telling me that I had a critically low coolant level and to stop immediately. Well, you just can't hardly stop immediately in a truck. But I knew where the nearest truck stop was, and so it didn't take but 5 or 10 minutes to get there, and got there, and stopped, and I always carry with me at least 5 gallons of antifreeze with me. And so I poured all 5 gallons in, but it didn't look like the reservoir was filling up. I'm going, that's strange. So I had to climb down from the hood. I was climbed up on the top of the engine mount. And when I climbed down, I saw all my antifreeze running down the driveway of the truck stop where I was. And I said, well, that doesn't look good. But it was going somewhere because it wasn't going in the reservoir. And so I looked under the engine, and I saw 2 streams of antifreeze running to the ground from under the engine. And so I knew I was cooked then. I knew I was done. And anyway, I'll come back to the story in just a minute. Let's review the equipment that we're using tonight. So I'm at a motel, Quality Inn in Nacogdoches, Texas, about 2.5 hours from the yard, and about 1.5 hours from home. I forgot my razor mount in the truck too, and so I'm using a makeshift mounting. And so we've got a Wade & Butcher Celebrated Hollow Ground, medium size, it says. And when you look at the nose, it looks about a half hollow, quarter hollow. And so we're looking for, and I don't know what it was honed up on. We're using Zingari Man, the Rambler, it's just, no, the Rambler, yeah. And it says tobacco, vanilla, and red fruit. And it has the same one that I used the other night from the driver's lounge restroom, my last video. All right, so. Oh, and my brush is the QED Select Manchurian Silver Tip. And so I just had a shower. And tonight will actually be the second night in this hotel. And I thought, well, if I'm not driving and I'm really not on the road, I said, there's no reason why I can't do a video. I've got approximately 24 hours of growth. I did do a shave last night when I got to the room and settled in. All right, we're going to go with that. And so here we go. And so I called in the breakdown, and we got a hold of a mobile mechanic, but he said he couldn't come out until this morning. Well, his dispatcher said he couldn't come out until this morning. And so we were told that he was originally going to be there between 8:30 and 9 this morning, and never heard anything about it. I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning and called my shop manager, and he hadn't heard anything about it, so he made a call. And so my shop manager decided just to go ahead and arrange for a tow for tomorrow morning. And that's what causes me to lay over for the second night. But then, almost about noon today, I got a call. And he says that he only just got the dispatch. He was at the truck when he called me. Anyway, he did an inspection to see if he could find the problem. I told him I'd seen antifreeze running out of the bottom part of the engine toward the middle rear of the engine from the bottom. And he got under there and looked and called me back and he said, yeah, you got, now I didn't know this. I'm not a mechanic and don't pretend to be one, nor do I want to be one. And he said that the two lines that run to and from the diesel exhaust fluid cooler were gone. And, which suggests that there was some sort of debris in the road, got thrown up underneath the truck and tore them off. I don't remember hitting any debris. I was sitting at a traffic light, getting ready to make a left-hand turn. If you were to look at a map of Nacogdoches, you would see the Loop 224. And so that's where I was at, getting ready to make my left-hand turn onto the Loop 224. And all of a sudden, all the bells and whistles start going off, critical coolant level, etc. And I knew the truck stop was just around, it was within a mile or so, mile and a half. So I went ahead and drove to the truck stop, got safely parked, and then started making all the phone calls. And so here I am. So I would have to leave first thing tomorrow morning and have a full day's drive to make on-time delivery in Ontario, Canada, which is unlikely to happen. So we'll get towed. I've been told that the tow truck's supposed to be there ready to hook up and tow me, make all preparations to be towed by 8 o'clock. I'm getting a very nice shave off of this Wade & Butcher. I don't know or remember what it was honed on and finished on. I think it's still working off of the edge from the gentleman that I bought it from. some years ago, 2-3 years ago. And of course, I use my razors in rotation, and they come up about every 90 to 100 days with the number of razors that I have. And so a good honing will last a good long while until I deem it necessary. So, for my Christian theme today is God's creation. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. And the next verse or two go on to describe that that everything in creation was made by Him, and not anything that was made without Him. Close enough for my purposes today. So, Bill M. was just talking about, in his new video, about the tallow in Mitchell's wool fat, which I'm a big fan of, tallow soaps and with Mitchell's wool fat in particular. I just find it amazing that people are as insane as they are. Animal rights, don't kill animals, don't eat animals. You go on certain websites and look at the threads of discussion. You're going to hell if you eat meat. Crazy stuff like that. And God made the earth and everything in it, including us, human beings. And He gave us the earth to live off the earth. And that's why He made the animals for us to eat, which is reiterated in Acts chapter 10. Don't call unclean what God has called clean. And some might say that was more particularly referenced as an illustration about who Peter should go and preach the gospel to include the Gentile. But examples and analogies don't work in language and literature unless the elements of the analogy, the example, are true. But I'll leave you to read Acts chapter 10 and look how that is presented. And so, creation is for humans. The creation is for humans, for us. It's what we live off of. It's what, when we grow cotton to make our clothes, for example. Yes, we use synthetics, and I understand that. I saw one of the soap manufacturers. He may have been an artisan, but he was bragging on the notion that they were going to discontinue using all animal products in the making of their soap to protect the animals and protect the environment. And it's just ass backwards, in my opinion. If you want to make a synthetic soap, or a vegan soap, as sometimes they're called, Make a vegan soap. Nothing is stopping you. But if you're making one of the world's leading and preferred and beloved soaps, tobacco I'm thinking about, don't discontinue one just because you want to make another. Just make another and keep making the one that everybody loves. Now this is an old cut right here that you might see. And it's just oozing a little bit right now. I haven't really reopened it per se or recut it. And this one up here too is from a former shave. And so many of the things that are going on in today's world that just seem absolutely crazy are a denial of God's order of creation. That's really all it is. Deny God, deny the order of his creation, whether it's marriage, the use of animals for our products, for our clothing. You may remember some years ago when it was all the fashion to throw buckets of blood on women who were wearing fur coats. Terrible. Not anything in the world wrong with, wearing a fur coat, raising the animal in captivity, if you want to say it that way. They're just using it as a breeding stock for the chinchillas and the minks and whatever. I've got no problem with that. Any more than I've got a problem with the cattle rancher raising cattle, raising cows, and turning them into our beef supply, or any other animal that is, whether it's chickens, or for any other livestock animal that's raised. You want to be careful about what you're pumping them full with, the antibiotics and so forth that may cause issues. And it's not my point to discuss that. It's all my opinion, but it's at least consistent with Christian theology. Everybody wants clean air and clean water. But and there should be no question about that. But it makes me wonder sometimes the rush to judgment on some things. Is a thing, a certain thing, an actual hazard, or is somebody just crying wolf? Another one that kind of gets my goat sometimes is sugar, and how it's so bad, how bad it is for diabetes and so forth. And I don't think it's sugar. Again, it is one of those things that God made for man to use. He made it for a reason. Now what? So there's either something in the process or they're adding something to it that makes it bad. Would it surprise anybody if I said that there's an element of the world's elite who control everything that want to see a significant majority of the Earth's population, human population, destroyed? I don't think it would surprise too very many of us. And so whether we're talking about, I'm not going to go too deep on this side of it, but the vaccines, and I don't just mean the COVID vaccine, but it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. makes a very interesting point worthy of discussion. How is it that autism has made such a rise since the introduction of vaccines? Now that's not an unreasonable question. And if the correlation can be made, and I'm not familiar with all that stuff, I'm at least vaguely familiar with what his Mr. Kennedy, general proposition is. And so it makes you wonder. The world's elite want to kill us. They tell us all this nonsense that we're supposed to believe, that the earth is bad for us, we're creating climate change. It is the sun. You do know that, right? It's all sun related, solar flares and so forth. I've read plenty on that. So far, this is an excellent shave. Very smooth and very sharp. It might be just the fact that my last shave was within the last 24 hours, and I don't have a lot of whiskers, not like I often do with 48 hours. Now, I'm going to put some more on. Just wonderful. My brush fell over and made a little messy mess. Anyway, so I'm stuck here in Nacogdoches till tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens then. We're going to tow the truck down to the Mack dealership in Lufkin, which is about 20 miles south. but it's just a replacement of a couple of plastic tubes that serve as the hoses. The guy did tell me that was inspecting it that they make those out of a hard plastic that are easily broken. Go figure. That feels very nice indeed. Well, I've kind of run out of things to talk about, so I'm just going to work on the shave and say whatever comes up in my mind. Probably just chasing phantom whiskers there. All right. I am going to do a head shave. I didn't do one last night, and so I'm about 3, maybe 4 days, 3 days, I guess. Not a great camera angle. Got a good view of the ceiling going on there. All right, that's it on the face shave. Put the Wade and Butcher beautiful razor. Nice etchings, very clearly still legible very well. Gold dollar 208. We're going to use on the head here. Ooh, that's slick. Residual slickness. Okay, almost done with the head. Very nice. I did put a little alum on my fingertips, and I'm not so concerned about staining the steel on a gold dollar. But I certainly wouldn't do it on a quality razor. All right, that feels like it. Let's do I can't. I'm going to end it there. I'm still going to put some alum block on, and that's all I've got for refinements. But the way I've got stuff stacked here so I can use the camera, I can't turn the water on. All right, that's it. Day number 2 in exile in Nacogdoches on a breakdown, and I will see you down the road.